Welcome everyone to Almost Cancelled, the TV News podcast. I am Peter, and joining me as always is Connor.
I really am always here, aren't I?
We talk about TV renewals, cancellations, premiere dates. We might look at a trailer or two, and generally just the shows that have been announced as in development or series orders, pilot orders, all that kind of thing. That's the gist of what we normally talk about. That's what's coming up. It's a bit of a lighter week actually in the last couple, I'd say. There's a little bit less.
No CBS bollocks for me this week, yeah?
There is at least one CBS story at the end. I didn't look at it too closely, so I don't know how much of a train wreck it's going to be.
I mean, let's be honest, it's CBS. It's got an 80% chance of being a train wreck.
I like to leave myself some surprises in the news, you know?
You just see CBS and go, yep, I'll go in.
I'm good at kind of recognizing it's the sort of thing that we would normally have on the news without having to read too much into it. I don't know, okay, I can just put that in. You know,
Years of practice.
I'll discover that when we get there, so I can react to it as well. But yeah, so another week, another TV news episode. No, I thought it was anything super interesting this week. It happened elsewhere in pop culture. Although, a slightly amusing note is that the third Fantastic Beasts movie came out last weekend, and on the Monday box office, the domestic box office on Monday, Sonic 2, which had already been out for like at least a couple of weeks, beat it on the Monday.
Yeah, that's bad for it. By all accounts, it's a significantly better film than the second one.
But it's the last one being terrible that matters.
No, I agree. I'm not disputing that at all. I think this is just... This proves that, but I don't think the studio will see it that way, right? They'll go, well, this did terrible, so we'll revert back to our other tactics. I've not seen it yet, but I have heard. Wait,
that's what you're taking from this? I mean, I'm just saying. What I'm taking from this is that this franchise is basically dead.
They knew that anyway. From what I was going to say.
Oh, really? Okay.
From again, not seen it yet. From what I've heard, the last 10-15 minutes of this film, there's a clear section of reshoots where they wrap up all the threads that were supposed to be the 5 film series, and it's just like, oh, it's all done now.
There was reports just before it came out of they're waiting to see what the box office is like before they greenlight 4, because they always said it was a 5-movie thing right back when it was starting.
I think it started at 6 originally, and then they cut it down to 5.
Oh, the restraint.
Yeah, I know.
But so the fact that they were even saying that when this is meant to be the continuation of Harry Potter, which was, at a time one of the biggest things on the planet, just shows how far it's fallen, and J.K. Rowling's kind of awful, so it's actually kind of amusing, all things considered.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. Fantastic audiences and where to find them. Warner Brothers don't know. So
I think the answer, honestly, is going to be HBO Max going forward. I think this transitions to a TV show in the not too distant future.
Fantastic Beasts specifically, or just a Harry Potter project?
Harry Potter project.
Okay, yeah, because I
just in general, that's the future of where the franchise is. For the next 5-10 years.
I agree with that. They've probably announced that they're developing something or other. But
they might have done a while ago, yeah.
But specifically Fantastic Beasts, I think that's probably just...
I think so, and as I said, judging from what I've heard of the ending of this movie, they kind of knew that before they even released it.
Plus, isn't Jill Bird Ezra in Fantastic Beasts as well?
He was in the first one, and then... So, mild spoilers for Fantastic Beasts, I guess, but who gives a shit? His character...
Oh, I should jump.
Was revealed.
I should jump in and correct you. It's they, not he.
Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
I genuinely did not know that.
Yeah. I only found out in the last couple of weeks, but yeah, there you go.
They are still a terrible person, but I will respect that at least. But their character was revealed to be Johnny Depp's character. So you had Ezra Miller playing them in the first movie, Johnny Depp playing them in the second movie, and then because everything that happened with
Who's
Johnny
in the
Depp
third
and Amber
movie?
Heard,
Kevin Spacey?
Oh no, the third movie got a good actor. Actually, I like Johnny Depp. I just didn't like Johnny Depp in that role. But the third movie got Mads Mikkelsen to play the role.
There you go.
And apparently, by all accounts, he's very good in the role.
I mean, that's better, obviously, but, you know, it's just... I mean, it's not as funny as that final scene from the Zack Snyder Justice League, where everyone in that scene, barring maybe, like, one person, is problematic in one way or another. It's really kind of hilarious watching that. If it wasn't so painfully awful and, like, soul-crushing at the same time. But, so... But yeah, Ezra Miller causing a lot of problems for Warner Brothers.
yeah. They're not looking forward to marketing this Flash movie, are they?
Because obviously Ezra got arrested and then got arrested again like a week later, and it was like, oh dear, like this is just a spiral at this point. There's like, so anyway, that's a whole heavy topic, which we won't get into any further. But I wanted to bring up that Sonic 2 is actually building a cinematic universe now. It's got a spin-off and a third movie in development, and it's just hilarious to me. I haven't
seen it. I don't know if I will, because I didn't, but I don't care for Jim Carrey's style of being Jim Carrey, basically, which is what he does in those movies. So, not for me.
To be fair, he hadn't done it in like 20 years when he did.
He hadn't, but I didn't like it 20 years ago.
Yeah. Actually, I read a really good theory this week, actually, that, you know, Sonic and Sonic 2 as Sonic movies... Theories. Yeah, well, no, it's not about the plot. I'm not about the mythology of Sonic. Although there are nutjob fans who really do care about the mythology of Sonic.
Oh, I know.
But just the theory that the reason why it's kind of working, I was hearing someone else talk about this, but it was this idea that because Sonic, when it was created, was made kind of in a cynical way. It was the whole point of Sonic was to rival Mario, so it was like, oh, he's going to be fast, he's going to be edgy, because that's the opposite of Mario. It was already kind of created as a marketing thing in the first place,
and that's how you ended up with Knuckles and Shadow. It just got edgier and edgier.
Yeah. So the idea being that most movies now that are these fabricated things just to please fandoms, to make money, that feel kind of phony, for the most part they stick out and people do turn away from them these days most of the time. But for some reason it's working with Sonic. But the theory is that because Sonic was always that from creation, that it doesn't matter because that's what Sonic is that he is just a cheap cash grab of a character to start with. That was the formation of him from day one. So it doesn't feel like it's betraying anything to have it be that cynical.
That's fair. Is Baldy McBlanderson still in the second one? He was the main guy in the first.
James Marsden? Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
But I've seen the post-credit scene because it leaked online, and I was curious.
Of course you did.
I was curious.
Was it Shadow?
Well, I can't spoil it for people.
I haven't seen it. I have not heard anything about it, but I'm putting money on it.
Oh, great. Yeah. I was going to say something, but given what you just said, what I was going to say, one way or the other, we'll say if that was true or not. So now I can't say what I was going to say. So
we'll put up a 10-second spoiler warning for Sonic.
well, the sentence that I was going to say, spoilers for the end, the post-credit scene of Sonic 2 for anyone who cares. But what I was going to say was it's exactly what you think it is, but then you said what you thought it was. And so now,
and it's exactly what I thought it was.
Well, to be fair, the first movie had the same problem, because before I saw the first movie, I said, I bet this post-credit scene is Tails. And would you believe it?
Oh, they are nothing if not predictable.
It's almost like doing this franchise, like fan, like service shit is like a formula now. You can just like, you know who they're going to tease at the end of this. Oh, the end of the sequel. So end of the third Sonic movie, they're teasing like I don't know enough Sonic lore after that to go any further. They won't tease it. I think Amy will just be in the third one. I don't think Amy's going to be a tease at the end. I think she'll just be there.
Yeah.
So I don't know who else. You know, Metal Sonic, or maybe
could be. Yeah.
You know, whatever. Oh, the Werehog. The Werehog Sonic. The fourth one.
Oh yeah.
Sonic Unleashed.
That's a hell of a post credits. That.
Oh dear, he gets bit by a werewolf. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the TV news, shall we? Enough rambling about other pop culture stuff. So, Renewals, Cancellations, not a whole lot to get into here. Just quickly, The Goldbergs has been renewed for season 10 by ABC, so that's kind of became their... I mean, it started when Modern Family was still on, but it's kind of become... It sort of transitioned to Goldbergs. Like, that's their main family sitcom that is doing well and is now running for double digits. So, cool for it. I think Matt likes it. I think Matt's a fan of The Goldbergs.
I don't think I've ever seen a single episode.
Nor have I, but...
I'm not going to speak ill of it. I just never Never bothered.
Yeah. I have nothing, no ill will, but yeah. That's pretty much it for Renewals and Cancellations, though. We do have a bunch of premiere dates, though, and some of them came with trailers, some of which we watched.
Hit me.
So first up, FX show. Jeff Bridges is going to be in a 7-episode limited series, and it is called The Old Man, and it is going
so far, I like everything.
It's going to launch on June 17th, which is a Thursday. And it'll be available next day on Hulu, which is kind of a typical format I got. The Old Man will premiere with the first 2 episodes, so it'll be a 6-week thing.
Pretty standard.
Yeah, based on the best-selling novel of the same name by Thomas Perry, The Old Man centers on Dan Chase, played by Bridges, who absconded from the CIA decades ago and has been living off the grid since. Wait, is he playing like a Ron Swanson character? Because I'm into it. When an assassin arrives and tries to take Chase out, the old operative learns that to ensure his future, he now must reconcile his past. You know, that last sentence doesn't necessarily break out your drinking rules, but it was so cringy.
Yeah. I think it's a poorly written description there, but despite that, I'm interested in the show because okay, it's old man Jeff Bridges doing, hey, I'm a badass ex-CIA agent, and I'm gonna.
Yeah. I suspect it's a bit John Wicky. I expect it won't be as. I mean, it does describe it as an action show, but I imagine it won't be as like high adrenaline action as John Wick. It'll probably be a bit more.
No, I think I'm getting Liam Neeson action movie vibes, right?
Yeah. So maybe it'll be good. I don't know, but that's The Old Man on FX. So there you go. AMC's got one called Dark Winds, which they're describing as a Western noir. That's got a premiere date. You're in, okay.
I mean, that already I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah. It also came with a trailer, but it was blocking it for me on YouTube, so we didn't watch it. But I got a description here, so we can.
That's all you need sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways around it, but I didn't care enough to go hunting to deal with.
I have to click like 2 times.
Yeah, that's too much.
Extension. But...
the original series is coming from Leap Horn and the Chi book by Tony Hillerman. It's also based on a book. That seems to be the big trend. It's going to premiere on AMC on the 12th of June, so pretty close to the last one. Yeah, it's going to be 2 episodes on week 1. I guess so. This is the exact same release format as the last show we talked about. 2 episodes week 1, 1 week, 1 per week after that, obviously. So yeah, this is a Sunday show. The series, set in 1971 on a remote outpost of the Navajo Nation near Monument Valley, follows Lieutenant Joe Leaphorn, who is Zan McLaren from Westworld and Fargo.
Oh, nice.
He's an old favorite. Yeah, I think he's on the poster. If you go see the poster, you can see him and his outfit. But yeah, of the tribal police as he's besieged by a series of seemingly unrelated crimes. The closer he digs to the truth, the more he exposes the wounds of his past. He is joined in this journey by his new deputy, Jim Chi. And Chi, too, has old scores to settle from his youth on the reservation. Together, the 2 men battle the forces of evil, each other, and their own personal demons on the path of salvation.
God damn it. God damn it.
There was a lot of professional before it got to the personal bit at the end, so that definitely counts.
It got
there. Yeah. Yeah, the ending of that got quite cheesy in its description and the way it's written. But I will say, Zan McLaren was such a dependable, good actor on multiple shows for a few years that I'm actually kind of happy to see him getting a lead role. And so
what I will say is, I like the description of it. I think it sounds good, but it also sounds like a very typical AMC show. From the last, sure. 5 or 6 years.
I can see it being dull just based on what a lot of AMC shows are. But I do appreciate that, one, it's focusing on this community, and it seems like they're just the main characters, and it's not like, some white guy comes in and like takes the lead role. I also appreciate that I like the actor, but it is AMC, so I'm expecting it to be a little bland, is my expectation. So,
and what it reminds me of, just again, not necessarily in plot or anything like that, but just the vibe, getting that Pierce Brosnan one, that kind of westerny one.
I remember the show. I don't remember the name though. I'll never remember the name.
But again, it's very much AMC in that post Breaking Bad era of Post-Breaking Bad and Mad Men of like trying to recapture that like kind of anti-hero vibe that they kind of want to cultivate.
They're pretending they can still do prestige TV, but like once you actually watch
everything's just The Walking Dead.
Well, no, because these shows don't end up feeling like The Walking Dead. They're just kind of hollow versions of prestige TV. Like they're presented like prestige TV, but they ultimately just feel a bit empty. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have the substance to back up the style in most of them.
Yes. So that is Dark Winds. Hopefully it's good as a Western noir and AMC debuting on June 12th. So look out for that.
That must be right around when Saul's in a break.
Sounds about right, yeah.
I know this is the Sunday night and not the Monday night, so it's not the same slot, but kind of filling that void, so to speak, in their schedule.
Well, I mean, this will probably still be running when Saul comes back for its second half, so that makes sense. They will overlap. So, next up, another premiere date with the trailer. This is The Time Traveler's Wife, which is a HBO series. It is going to launch on May 15th, so a little bit earlier than those other shows. And it's a 6-part limited series based on the book of the same name, which was already turned into a movie, which I remember because I saw the movie once upon a time.
I never did. Rich McAdams, right?
That sounds right, yes. And
I'm familiar with the movie. Cultural osmosis and all that, but I never actually watched it.
Oh god, what's his name? Eric Bana was like the first Hulk. Well, not the first Hulk, but the first movie Hulk.
Yeah.
Yes, Eric Bana. I for some reason, the name Paul Dano kept like being in my head. I'm like, it's not Dano, it's Bana.
Very different people.
Yes. And the movie I remember being just kind of okay. I wasn't in love with it by any means. And this trailer, which we watched before we came out to record, it's a bit.
There's elements of it that look okay.
I think the sad part of this is that the raw premise does appeal to me, but the movie and this show are both leading far more into the schmaltzy romance of it.
Which I suspect is the point. I suspect that's from the source material.
Oh, I do as well. But I think what I'm saying is, and it's not so much that it can't revolve around romance. I am perfectly into romance. It's just that the tone of which they're tackling the romance feels more like a movie that would have came out of like, I don't know, like
it feels closer to a rom-com in terms of that style of thing.
Yeah. You know, if you give me like a film that's meant to be a science fiction film that deals with the implications of a romance where the man in the relationship is constantly darting about time and meeting the women at different ages all over the place, that sounds interesting to me. I just don't necessarily like the way the movie tackled it. And from the trailer, it looks like the show's doing a very similar kind of
Isn't that
thing.
A similar premise to About Time?
Which is a rom-com. I've never seen About Time.
I remember enjoying it when it came out many years ago at this point. About like a decade, whatever it was.
Yeah, so I do like a good time travel story. I wasn't really getting much from this trailer, though.
No, like I said, there were elements that looked okay, but overall, they say it's focusing on things that appeal to us less, I think.
Yeah, there's far too many scenes of like the wife's friends like being like, well, where is he then? It's like, well, he's a time traveler. Are we going to have to, if you watch this show, are we going to have to listen to all of her like friends and family not understand the problem and why he's darting around? You know, it's just that.
I did glance at the comments on YouTube, and it seems to be that book fans are a bit more optimistic about this adaptation. They seem to have been a little bit upset by or unsatisfied with the original movie, and I think the author is a bit more involved in this by just by glancing at the YouTube comments of what they're saying, and I'm taking their word for it because they're fans of it.
Yeah, okay. The book should have been called 50 Ticks of Grey. No?
No. Move on. Move on right now. Apologize for that and move on.
Think of it, but if you mix time travel with S&M, think of all the shenanigans you could get up to. Like,
there's a lot of shenanigans.
Like, the anal beads were already in because I went back in time and put them in already.
It's very much here's one I made earlier.
Next up, we got a trailer and well, actually, I already knew the premiere date for Night Sky, which is the J.K. Simmons and Sissy Spacek show, which used to have a different name, but we knew it was coming. What's funny about this is that I actually put this just on the vote for next month's Patreon pilots, and earlier today, this was today, day of recording, I put the votes up, and when I went to post it, I always put a trailer now for each of the shows so people can click on the trailers and like sort of have an informed reason why they might vote for what they vote for. There wasn't a trailer for this shit. So I just put a link to like an article talking about it with some images. And
now there is.
I went to do the news, and sure enough, like an hour after I posted it, a trailer finally came out. So I did go back and edit it in. I did do my due diligence, but yeah, we got a trailer for it. So this is about a couple, an elderly couple, who have got a secret portal in their like shed that leads to like basically just like an
alien world, but with like still in a building.
Yeah, specifically, I'd say it's an alien world, but it's specifically like I don't know, an outpost, like some sort of habitat, whatever. But they just go there and sit and look at the great view of the planets, and it's this secret they've kept for decades, by the sounds of it. And it looks like in the show, from the trailer, you're going to get them maybe finally confessing that it's there to their daughter, a bit of a conspiracy. Maybe there's a group of people who know about this, and maybe there's other portals like this on Earth that, it's like a whole thing that's been covered up. Because they go in in the trailer, you see that they go in one day and there's a stranger just in there who seems to have come through it, and they don't know if they can trust him. He could be dangerous. Maybe he's on the run. Is there bad people hunting him? Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? All this. What did you think of the trailer?
I was underwhelmed. I like the two leads a pretty reasonable amount, to be fair. And I suspect their relationship is going to be kind of at the heart of the show, and that might be enough to carry it. But the mystery of what it's selling me in the trailer wasn't really grabbing me.
Yeah, I was a little bit mixed on it as well. I love the premise. I like the actors, obviously, as you said, but some of the other characters we see in the trailer, like the people that seem to be part of the conspiracy and all that stuff, and some of the general drama, because the visuals when they're on like this observation deck watching space and looking at the planet, that stuff looks quite cool. And I do love the idea that they've had this secret all this time and there's like a reason for it, and it's going to get into that. But what we actually see of it playing out just feel like a really generic TV show in the trailer. But admittedly, that means because sometimes you have to cut a trailer to look like a trailer, and you lose a lot of the nuance. So
it absolutely could be that. We've seen it before.
But I do like the premise.
I do as well.
I do like the premise. But yeah, the trailer's interesting. So yeah, it's currently on the pilot vote over in Patreon if you're at a $10 tier up. So by all means, go and.
So you might be watching it either way.
I might be watching it either way if the patrons decide it. Yeah, go vote for it. Don't vote for Obi-Wan. Vote for this instead. Much more interesting.
Vote for Kenobi. Please make him watch Kenobi. Please.
Don't vote for Kenobi.
I embed you from the bottom of my heart. Make him watch Kenobi.
Next up, we got one comedy.
Help me, patrons. You're my only hope.
Shut up. You sicken me. You sicken me.
I think they should vote for it based on that alone.
I hope time traveler Christian Grey goes back and shoves some anal beads up your arse.
Fair.
The XL ones.
Oh. Could we go double XL? Maybe that would go a bit better.
Big as an apple. Anyway.
Please don't ruin my breakfast.
We got one comedy to bring up before we get to the dramas. So, Chris Powell, who's been on Love Life on HBO Max, he's known as comedian CP. He sort of goes by that as a sort of nickname as a comedian. He's going to headline his own comedy series for HBO Max, so obviously they like working with him. It's called My Father's Son, and it's in development, and it's just based on his relationship with his dad, so it's based on real stuff, and that's the premise.
It's one of those kind of semi-autobiographical comedies that we've seen over the years that I tend to not love, but they can be okay at times, depending on the right one.
Yeah, I have not seen or even heard, I think, or if I have, I don't remember Love Life, so I don't know this guy, so this was just kind of a nothing story to me, but...
yeah, nothing to me either, sorry.
So yeah, not much to say, but it is happening, so if you happen to know who it is, maybe you're excited, and if so, great. Yeah, on the dramas, and there's not a lot this week, it's a quieter week, I would say, news-wise, but fair enough, we did have the return of Better Call Saul this week, and with that we have news of Bob Odenkirk's next show. His new show, Straight Man, has been given a series order at AMC. So,
did we have a Bob Odenkirk story like last week or the week before?
Yeah, there was a story about some of the cast being added to this.
Okay,
like 2 weeks ago, yeah. But now it's officially been ordered to series at AMC. which is cool. Based on the novel. This is the unlikely chairman of the English department at a badly underfunded college in Pennsylvania, Rust Belt.
Had a very strong description in giving us a sense of tone.
Yeah, it was very comedic. It is down there further down, but we read it a couple of weeks ago. But it did sound like something that he could be very good at. A very sort of comedic central character.
Yeah, I think the first couple of sentences of the description sounded fairly dry, and then it got going, and it's like, this is why you cast Odenkirk.
Yeah, so really interesting. 8-episode first season, so this is not a limited series necessarily. This is something that might get renewed and be taken forward. So, good for Bob. And honestly, Odenkirk would make me want to watch it at this point. He's that good. So,
he is that good.
Good news. So that's Straight Man. Been given a series order at AMC. Next up, we got Idris Elba, who's getting into bed with Apple TV Plus.
He's moving on from that Sonic money.
Yeah, but he's getting his own spin-off.
That's true.
Knuckles is getting his own movie, so he's still making in that sweet dough.
Oh yeah, that's where it's at.
That sweet chaos emerald money. But yeah, Idris Elba is going to be a hostage negotiator in a thriller series for Apple TV Plus. It is a 7-part, which I assume means it is planned as a limited series in this case. It is called Hijack. Apple got this in a first look deal after they struck with Green Door Pictures, which is Elba's company, which they did in 2020. So he's starring as Sam Nelson, an accomplished business negotiator, forced to use his guile to save the lives of passengers on board a hijacked plane making its way to London. So
it's a very Elba role, isn't it?
Yeah, from the sounds of that, I don't know if he's on the plane or not. I didn't get a sense of that, whether or not he's out on the plane negotiating from there, or if
he is. Because otherwise, why wouldn't they get in a professional negotiator? Right? I think this is he's the one on the plane just trying to save everyone.
I do like the idea of this lasting, like, everything starts off in episode 1 and then they're literally on the plane until episode 7. Like, it all takes place over the course of the flight. Almost like 24 in real time kind of thing. Like,
yeah, I can see it.
That sounds appealing to me, honestly.
Me too. It sounds like it's got potential. And as much as I say, oh yeah, that sounds like an Idris Elba role, that's not a bad thing because he's very good.
It bugs me how this article says the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Hobbs and Shaw actor. I'm like I get that they're more recent, but for the love of The Wire is what gave him his cred.
If not that, surely people go with Luther, right?
They mentioned Luther elsewhere in the article, I think, but
I think that's a pretty, because he's the lead in that, right? So that's a fair one to kind of throw out there, I think.
But yeah, come on, he's come on, The Wire. It's like one of the best things.
The Wire and Luther are the two things. If I was writing those articles, those are what I'd be going. These are what he's known for.
It's not like I'm being like, as much as I like Pacific Rim, it's not like I'm saying, hey, the Pacific Rim star, Idris Elba.
But look, what we have learned tonight is all roads lead to Sonic.
No, it's all roads lead out of Sonic.
Okay, as long as we get to Sonic one way or another.
He's taken the speed highway, he's went through the casino zone, and he's landed right in a plane. He did a loop. And besides, Knuckles can glide, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true, you're right. Yeah. He'll just land on his fists.
I don't know if he can glide in the movie. I've not seen Sonic 2, but in the games he can glide. That's like his key mechanic, because Tails can sort of fly with the tails, obviously, and Knuckles can just sort of slowly glide forward.
Yeah. Well, I say, it's fine. He'll just land on his gigantic fists.
Yes. But there you go. Next up, Matt Bomer. He's got a new show. It's just got a series order at Showtime. It's called Fellow Travelers, and it's based on the Thomas Mullen novel, starring and executive produced by Matt Bomer. Showtime are producing it. It's an 8-part limited series. Fellow Travelers is a love story and a political thriller. Doesn't really sound like
your two favorite things.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound like something for me, but I'll keep going. Chronicling the volatile romance of two very different men who meet in the shadow of the McCarthy-era Washington. So knowing that the actor is gay and that this is now you know, I mean, no, this is not like it wasn't before, but now that I've just discovered that this is about a gay relationship, it makes more sense why he's so heavily involved from a producing point of view and stuff. But anyway, Bomer will play handsome, charismatic Hawkins Fuller. That is such a made up name.
Yeah,
Hawkins Fuller, who maintains a financially rewarding behind-the-scenes career in politics. Hawkins avoids emotional entanglements until he meets Tim Laughlin, a young man brimming with idealism and religious faith. They begin a romance just as Joseph McCarthy and Roy Cohn declare war on subversives and sexual deviants, initiating one of the darkest periods of 20th century American history. Over the course of 4 decades, this is a big long story. Hawk and Tim cross paths through Vietnam War protests of the 1960s, the drug-fueled dino hedonism of the 1970s, and the AIDS crisis of the 1980s, while facing obstacles in the world and in themselves. I'm pretty sure that's...
It wasn't strictly professional.
No, that's more like the world and professional. Like the greater world...
And personal.
Yeah. But...
I don't think it hits it. Okay. I don't want to devalue the
Okay,
game.
that's fine. I can live with it. That's fine. So that's Fellow Travelers picked up to series, limited series at Showtime. There you go.
Yeah, like I say, maybe not for us. Just like you say, yeah, political thriller and romance is not genres we tend to gravitate towards.
Yeah. So,
but that doesn't mean it'll be bad by any means.
Yeah, which takes us up to our final story of the week.
CBS at last.
CBS. Yep, they've opened the writer's room for a new show. I'm going to tell you about it. So, it's a new drama called The Great Game. Produced by CBS Studios in association with Alex Kurtzman's studio, Secret Hideout. Alex Kurtzman, that's not a name I like seeing.
Yes. I'm brimming with positivity over this story. Kurtzman and CBS, how can this possibly not be perfect?
The Great Game is inspired by an unpublished novel of the same name. I assume it's still coming out and not published. It's just not published yet, as opposed to no one wanted to publish it, which would be a weird thing to use.
That would be a weird thing to pick up, yeah.
But yeah, it's the second CBS drama project for the 2021 to 2022 development cycle that the network has put in a scripted series path by commissioning a writer's room. It joins HSI Puerto Rico.
What does that stand for?
HSI. Is this like... No. Yeah, what's HSI? I don't know. Google HSI. I demand to know.
I don't know what...
Even if you Google the show and it'll tell you like what what it's about.
That's why Homeland Security something.
Okay. Fair enough.
Well, the description mentions a Homeland Security agent, so I'm just making the assumption that that's what the HNS stand for.
Okay, yeah. And not high school interpersonal.
Yeah. I don't know what it actually stands for, because when I Google HSI, all the first things are Humane Society International, and somehow I don't think that's what the show is about.
You never know, maybe.
It'd also be the Horizontal Situation Indicator, which is an aircraft flight instrument.
I'd love to know what it shows. If that's what it means, I'd love to know what the show's about, if that's what it is in this case.
I have no idea.
Yeah. But, anyway, here's the description for you. In The Great Game, a washed-up but charming British spy is reluctantly recruited out of retirement by a bright-eyed, tech-savvy female CIA agent, giving him a shot at redemption as he relearns the modern, ruthless game of international espionage.
That was all professional, wasn't it?
It was, but didn't we say one of the new rules from the last couple of weeks was when someone has to come out I was brought back to the hometown. I guess that's not the same thing.
That was hometown, yeah.
Or brought back to like where they're from, in some way.
This is more out of retirement, which by that rule...
If he was going back to his same agency, I'd say it counts, because it wasn't strictly hometown. It was more just going back to...
Back to the roots, yeah.
But this is like, listen, he was a British spy, so CIA is kind of a newer thing for him, so... Okay.
Yeah.
That is a bland description that doesn't give me anything other than it's just another CBS show.
I'm more interested in figuring out what the hell HSI is, because None of those articles told me, which is really concerning.
It was making me think that for a second I thought, wait, is this like whatever they call like CSI in Puerto Rico? Which I know Puerto Rico's still connected to the US, but like just maybe like it translates in Spanish, so the initials are HSI, and that's why it's called that. They're being funny with it. They're saying, no, we're going to go to CSI. We're going to call it HSI.
I get where you come from. Yeah. I don't know what does the I stand for. Like, if it's Homeland Security,
Inland, no?
Inland,
Internal, Homeland Security, Internal, Homeland Security, Insurrection.
Oh yeah, they're going to go with insurrection.
Homeland Security, Internet.
Are you just throwing out the first words that begin with I that pop into your head?
Yes, I am. Homeland Security...
Interrogations.
Intelligence.
Oh, intelligence is probably it.
That could be it, yeah. I'm not convinced.
That's probably it.
I'm not convinced it is, but it sounds plausible.
But that would make sense for a TV show on CBS, wouldn't it?
Yes. Which is ironic, because the less intelligence you have, the more you'll enjoy the shows that they make.
Yes, it's very true.
I mean, if anyone enjoys them as guilty pleasures, by all means enjoy your trash TV. There's nothing wrong with liking a bit of trash TV, but
as long as you know it's trash TV.
Yeah, but there's definitely some people who like think that they're factual and like think they know the law because they've watched the CSI show.
The only consolation I have is that most of those people are in their over 60s now.
Their time is nigh, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes. They can't cause that much damage anymore.
Well, they can vote.
Well, they can, but they're all retiring, so fuck them.
What part of that swearing on the show is
the part where clearly it's fallen out of habit?
Yes. Well, you secure that. Thank you very much. There you go. That's basically it. I feel like we should have like an ending segment on the show, something to just sort of like a final little bit that wraps up the events. I mean, it feels like the end.
I feel like you should probably move all that stuff we had at the start about Sonic and Ezra Miller and other nonsense.
Oh no, because that's too freeform and open. Like no, it's something that's more of a defined ending segment. I'll have a think. You know, like
I don't like the sound of this. When you get thinking,
something as simple as like picking. Okay, what was your favorite story of the week? What was the one that was the most exciting? Or so I don't know, but some little segment that you put on at the end as a little bow that wraps everything up. You know, the time traveling anal beads, for example, just on sure. the. Speaking
of time travel,
yeah,
I watched Doctor Who this week because I was back.
I don't care.
One episode. It was fun.
I do not care.
I do. People like Doctor Who. They do. Before you say anything, they do like Doctor Who.
I was going to say a thing.
I could see it in your face.
Oh, but anything that wraps this up as quickly as possible, at this point, I'm more than happy with. So that is this week's TV news. A bit later this time, but you know,
please become a patron and vote to make Pete watch Kenobi.
Ebbs and flow, all that jazz. So we'll be back in next week. By the time this goes up, the Better Call Saul premiere for season 6 will be up. So go check that out if you're into the show, and if you're not, go back and start watching it.
Because it's very good.
And I'll watch Breaking Bad first, though. Admittedly, do the whole thing. I
think we're just assuming that people who are watching this care about TV and have probably watched Breaking Bad.
Yes. And if they're watching us, they have good taste, and therefore they must have watched Breaking Bad.
And if you haven't, why are you watching us? Go watch Breaking Bad, then come back.
No, watch us too. Like the views and the likes and the clicks, all those things are important still.
They are.
But yes. But yeah, so thank you very much for joining us. You can, of course, like, subscribe, ding the bell for notifications. All those things do help out a lot. Also head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, and you can support all the content for as little as $1 per month. And of course, you know, check out the usual TV reviews. We have classic Star Trek episodes, modern Star Trek episodes, Twilight Zone, Babylon 5 on this channel. The movie podcasts are over on MailFuzz Movies. 2 dedicated shows, Screams After Midnight for horror movies and the Atomic Cinema Experiment for science fiction films. So go and have a look and see if you like them. But that is us. So thank you once again. We'll see you next time. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla?